Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Virtual Racers Club. We're here. It's been 3 months, according to YouTube, since the last time we saw it. You must have seen the title when you clicked on this video. Yes, it returns, the GTMC for a Season 4. I'm blagging at the minute, 'cause, there we go. And I can hear my voice. So yeah, Season 4, cracking stuff. So Grand Touring Manufacturers Championship, the GTMC, is VRC's only multi-category racing series, and drivers will need to master cars from the Group 3 and Group 4 across 10 rounds. It has been set up for amateur drivers to take part in and is intended to be fun, friendly and an enjoyable championship. The championship driver teams will select a manufacturer to represent during the championship. It is a free choice of manufacturer and will be first come, first served basis. Only 2 cars per manufacturer are permitted. Drivers will then use both the Group 3 and Group 4 cars from their chosen manufacturer. If a manufacturer offers more than one choice of either Group 3 or Group 4 cars, the cars used during the first round must be used for the remainder of the season. At each round there will be a sprint race using the Group 4 car and feature race using the Group 3 car. There will be 10 rounds and 20 races in total. So yeah, that's the long and the short of it. We're round 1 at the Red Bull Ring for GTMC Season 4. We can see on the grid the Group 4 cars. And we'll do our grid walk in just a second. I think I've covered everything here. So yes, the sprint race is just the super soft tyres, no pit stops, tyre wear ×4, fuel ×4 in the Group 4 cars. In the feature race, they are allowed to use a choice of racing super soft, racing soft, racing medium tyres, and they have to use at least 2 compounds for a minimum of 3 laps. The tyre wear will be ×4 and fuel also ×4 in the feature race. The feature race is 40 minutes, if I hadn't already mentioned. So this is the grid of Lobby 2 as they line up in their Group 4 cars. On pole, we have a newcomer, Geordie, in the Hyundai, in the Draper Tools Hyundai. There in second, we have a Shadow Rider in his Porsche. This was after 5 minutes of qualifying, I believe. Hang on, let me get used to this name. We'll have to pause for a second. Here we go. Simex in the Dodge in third. Fourth fastest was Skyjacker in his Toyota. In fifth, we have Dutch, also in the Hyundai. So he must be teammates with Geordie. How cool. There in sixth, we have Pat in the Mustang. Very cool, I like it. In seventh, we have Jam in his Ferrari. Very cool, nice livery. Whoosh. In eighth, we have Jokus in his Jaguar. Looking very cool. They're very close to VRC colours, I must say, but nice. In ninth, we have a Rivixter in a very nice looking Mercedes-Benz. In 10th, we have Jim Wise in the second Ferrari. So the Hyundais and the Ferraris turning up with a 2-man team. I like that. I like that setup totally. And in 11th, we have Bunny in the McLaren, the Red Bull McLaren, looking divine. So that's how they qualified after 5 minutes in the Group 4 cars. And now we will see the 15-minute sprint race. Let me just do this. Get to the front. I'm already at the front on a good camera. Click on play and away we go. So we're just waiting for the lights here for Lobby 2 GTMC Season 4 Round 1, and it is underway. there they go. Geordie having a great start, but Shadow Rider having a better start in that Porsche, moving straight up into the lead with Geordie down into second in the Hyundai. In third we have Pat. Pat looks like he had a little nudge from Jokers. Oh, we've got a bit of a pile up here. Oh my word, Skyjacker's off. Jam's waiting. Bunny's in his McLaren up to fifth. Jim, Jokers, oh, these just stood still, Jokers, I reckon. We're going to be getting a red flag situation here. There's Skyjacker. Geordie still on his way, though, with Shadow Rider. Pat up into second. But I think people are starting to leave, and I've got to do a replay. Oh, everyone's still in the room, I believe. No one's dropped out yet. Jokers. I think now, yeah, Jokers is down to 10. So, ooh, before they all go, let's get back then. So, Jokers was the most affected in that. Oh, God, I hope I haven't nerfed it up. No. So, here we go. This was the start. On the cam there, 3 wide into the first corner. He looks like he gave... Who was it? A nudge. One of the new boys, C-Max, I think, C-Mex, and now he's waiting for C-Mex back in 9th, so yes, further back we can look from, that is Jokers, from Jim's point of angle, yeah, looks like just a couple off there, yeah, a few little things up and down the fields, causing that red flag, I believe. There's Skyjacker trying to get back. Dutch in 11th, crawling. So, yes, it was just looking at too many cars in a very tight corner. Then we'll see them all disappear, and we'll get the race underway again. So, I think the very first GTMC race I ever took part in, I think that was a red flag straight away. It's just to get it out of the system early. Get it out of the system early and then crack on. So the red flag being called, cars just disappearing, screen will soon go black. Who will be the last to leave? The 2 Hyundais sticking at it, and Geordie still on track, and there he goes. So as the host resets the grid, we will get away for the sprint race part 2. Now, the rules usually state if a red flag has been caused, then the next start would be a rolling start. Sometimes it happens, sometimes hosts forget. Ooh, it's a rolling start. Yay. So Geordie on pole, as we already saw on the grid walk. Brand new in the VRC. I don't think I've seen him before. So, great start. C-Mex also. Don't recognise. So, this is great. Lots of new names. Makes it more fun. More people for racing. Shadow Rider. That is a lovely Rothmans Porsche, I've got to say. It's like a Williams Porsche in it. So underway for a rolling start of this 15-minute dash to the checkered flag. Who will come out on top? Will the Hyundai stick it out in the lead? Will the Porsche overtake him like we saw on the original start? Is the Dodge up to the challenge? How did that take me so long to grab? So there we go, they're underway now. Geordie leading them through turn 1. Looks like he's pulled himself a little gap as Shadow Rider falls back to the Dodge. There is a Skyjacker in his Toyota with Dutch up alongside Jam. No, Pat, sorry, he was trying to have a little go at Pat, but Pat pulls into 5th place, Dutch in 6th, Jam down in 7th in his Ferrari with Jokers hot on his heels in his Jaguar, 9th Rivixter in the Mercedes, 10th for Bunny, and 11th there for Jim in the 2nd Ferrari. Geordie then still leading, but C-Mex is up. C-Mex has challenged Shadow Rider, and he has taken the 2nd spot into turn 3. Shadow Rider now under siege from Skyjacker. And there we go, Shadow Rider, one small mistake and he is down into 4th place from 2nd. He can see the top 3 in front of him though. Geordie, C-Mex, Cymex and Skyjacker. Shadow Rider in 4th. Behind us we have Pat, Dutch and Jam, the 2 Ferraris starting to come through. No, Dutch is in a Hyundai, sorry. There we see the Supra in front of us. The Toyota, no it's not, is it a Supra? It must be. Doesn't look like the 86. So Skyjacker there, moving up into 2nd place. Geordie in 1st, Cymex in 3rd, Shadow Rider in 4th. Pat a little bit way off so far. Dutch in 6th, Jam in 7th. Let's get out of the car and have a look around. So leading is Geordie in the Draper Tools Hyundai. It's a former pilot, Skyjacker and Alphanaut. Skyjacker up into 2nd in that Toyota. Oh, C-Mex, yeah. So Skyjacker's taken C-Mex. No, yeah, C-Mex, sorry. C-Mex was in 2nd, so there goes Skyjacker. He's on the move. C-Mex down into 3rd. Shadow Rider still hot on their tails in his Porsche. Pat in 5th in the Tang, the Mustang, ahead of, oh, Jam's being overtaken now. Jam in 6th. No, Jam's doing the overtaking. Jam's moving up into 6th, ahead of Dutch in 7th in that 2nd Hyundai. And there goes Jam into turn 3. And now Dutch under threat from Jokus. Jokus on the move. He's looking into it, but no, Jam's back behind Dutch. I don't know if he made a small mistake in that corner, and now he's got Jokus snapping at his heels. We're on lap 2. That's all. Sorry. 3 minutes into this 15-minute race. Racer Brown in the chat saying, good morning everybody. And there we see now Joker's starting to get purples. Well, it's lap 2, everyone gets purples, I do apologise. Behind us we've got Rivixter and Bunny in their own fight. Rivixter in the Mercedes ahead of Bunny in that McLaren. It looks like Bunny is starting to hunt down Rivixter with Jim in the 2nd Ferrari, holding up the 11th spot. So Skyjacker now, Skyjacker leading. My word, we're missing all of Skyjacker's hard work. I try not to do too many replays, but this is he's doing some of his finest work here, I must say. So Skyjacker up into 2nd. We've seen him moving past Shadow Rider, past Simon. Oh, it looks like Geordie may have made a small mistake in that corner, and that has just gifted it to Skyjacker in that Supra. Geordie down into 2nd spot, under threat now from the Dodge Viper. I wanted to call it a Challenger then. But now Cymax going for the underside of Geordie. Geordie going a little bit wide in that last corner. Shadow Rider there, ready to scoop. Scoop, de-scoop, scoop, de-scoop. These two looking like they're going to go sideways together into the first corner there. Cymax later on the brakes. He makes the corner stick, and he does. And he's up into 2nd spot again. What a race we're having right at the front here of this Red Bull Round 1 GTMC Season 4 GTMC, and never fails to deliver. Cymax is under pressure now from Geordie. Geordie up alongside. Is he going to lay break into the corner? They're side by side. Geordie into the 2nd corner. Cymax, can he keep Shadow Rider off? Shadow Rider also there, while Cymax fighting with the curbs and the Viper. But he's just about there in 3rd spot now. Down into 4th, we've got Pat getting closer and closer to these guys as they fight it over. Dutch still ahead of Jam. Jam and Dutch in a massive almighty fight there for 6th and 7th place. Jokers keeping watch behind. Looks like Dutch goes a little bit wide, and Jam takes the opportunity to slip it up the inside. And there Jam moving up into 6th place ahead of Dutch in 7th. Just behind them they've got Jokers in the Jaguar in 8th place, with Rivixter still ahead of Bunny, but it looks like Bunny has got some oomph on him and he's pushing Rivixter all the way to the 15-minute mark. We're just coming up near to the 5-minute mark now, and we've had some racing. Skyjacker still leading from Geordie with Cymex in 3rd. Aren't the new guys doing well? And here we see Bunny and Rivixter fighting over 9th and 10th. Not sure how far. Jim's not far behind. Jim's just there. And there's movement again ahead with Jam and Jokers. Jokers moving up into 7th spot. Snatching it from Dutch as he's on the back foot, while Jam is trying to catch up with the Mustang of Pat. Pat is there. just catching up Cymax. Cymax down to fourth now. Geordie in second. Shadow Rider in third in his Porsche. Cymax is in fourth with Pat now in the Mustang coming into play with this top battle. Skyjacker running away. He did a 37.4 the last time around. Geordie a 37.6. Shadow Rider a 38.1. Cymax a 38.4. There is Jam. Jam's ahead. Oh no, gosh. Oh my word, we've lost Pat. Pat down into 11th. He's in the wall. What happened to Pat? Let's have a quick look. Oh, just looks like he kicked off to one side. Everything looking rosy. In fifth place, keeping Jam at bay. The Ferrari at bay. Just keeping the top four inside. And oh, I don't know if he had controller issues there, but he just pulled over to one side. And that seems to be Pat's race. I don't know. We'll see how he gets on. Skyjacker then leading from Geordie. Geordie pushing hard. They're all on those super soft tyres for this sprint race. Shadow Rider in third. Cymex not far behind in his Dodge Viper. Wow. There's not much sponsorship on that. There we go. We see in the chat Skyjacker saying good morning, guys. There we see Jam in a sexy looking Ferrari. That would make my legs open, Jam. Dutch in sixth in the Draper Tools Hyundai. Getting to grips with it now, staying ahead of Rivixter. Rivixter and Bunny having a massive ding-dong for the whole of this race. Bunny looking for a way past. There we see, he might have found it now. He's getting himself slightly up the side of the Mercedes. He's got a better drive out of that corner. And now they're side by side going through the fast right-hander into the last corner. Can he keep the back end of that McLaren? And there's the Mercedes swooping down, but has that outbraked himself? What a race! What a race Bunny and Rivixter are having right now. Joker's right down to 10th, didn't even notice. And Pat obviously having his issues down there in 11th when he pulled off the road. Seems to be all sorted now. He's back up and running. Now Skyjacker, he's on lap 5. He's got the fastest lap of the race. He got that on the second lap. We're 7 minutes into this race. He's pulling out a little bit of a gap on Geordie, Shadow Rider. Keeping Geordie at quite close, and Cymax not letting them run away with it. Jam now trying to get that Ferrari further up. He's just on a 37.6, while Cymax did a 38.7. 37.8 from Shadow Rider and Geordie a 37.6, so they've got similar pace. A 38.2 there from Dutch. He's got Rivixter and Bunny coming like a force up to the back of him. 7.5 minutes into this race. Jim keeping tack of Bunny and Rivixter, but if they're racing each other as fiercely as I have been seeing, there is the McLaren. There's the McLaren trying to get up the inside. That Mercedes going out wide around that corner. And Bunny nipping up into 7th place in that McLaren. Doing a fine job. Rivixter down to 8th now, with Jim catching those guys up in 9th place. Joker's in 10th with Pat down into 11th in the Mustang. Leading the way, Skyjacker just starting lap 6. He is flying at the moment to 37.6 from Skyjacker, with Geordie when he crossed the line 37.7. They're all starting to lose a bit of pace. I think they're losing their tyres a bit. Fastest from Shadow Rider, 37.6. Cymex is 37.6 also, matching Shadow Rider in 4th place. Jam a 37.5, only a 10th faster. He's some way behind now. He's got some ground to make up in the next, what, 6-7 minutes. Dutch in 6th place. Looks like to be catching Jam up. He's getting purples, is Dutch. He's finding the sweet spot of that Hyundai. There is Bunny maintaining that 7th ahead of Rivixter in 8th. Rivixter under threat from Jim. Jim is on his way. He's getting the hang of this Ferrari now. 9 minutes into this race, 6 minutes left of racing. This is absolutely riveting. Darren says, morning, Ryan. Why, hello. I'm close to your name today, I think. I've chosen my name at the end. It's Dan. My name's Dan. So there, see, again, Rivixter wide in that corner, and Jim managing just to get up the inside easily. Rivixter must have had an off because he's lost a position to Jokers as well. Yeah, so Rivixter must have pushed it a little bit too far. We'll have a quick look. It wasn't that long ago, was it? Pushed it a little bit too far into that corner. Yeah, he just takes the Mercedes a little bit wide there as he scrambles back onto the track. Still ahead of Pat. Pat some way. Is he in the bunch? Oh no, I see him. He's just coming up to that corner. So yes, Rivixter unfortunate there, having a great race with Bunny earlier on. Skyjacker's extending that lead. It looks like Geordie out wide there. Crosses the line. He did a 37.8. Skyjacker a 37.2. So 0.6 faster on that lap alone. Shadow Rider a 38.1. It looks like he's getting a bit of threat now from Cymex. Cymex. Ooh, I like your Shadow Rider on the back. Shadow Rider. Looks cool. Cymex then in the Viper, looking for a way past the Porsche. Porsche up. I like it. The orange YouTube. Whoa! Little knock on Shadow Rider into Geordie there. Nothing intentional, I think, but it was just a little bit tight, and that's giving Jam just what he wants. Well, I have a look back. It really didn't look like much, but it sent Shadow Rider into Geordie. And they all came out still in the same positions. Cymex looking like he majorly lifted to let Shadow Rider carry on, but now Jam in his Ferrari. He wants to ruin the party for the top three. He's looking, he's already up into third place now, ahead of Shadow Rider and Cymex. Shadow Rider there, he's got a bit of a faster pace. 37.4 is, oh no, Jam, see Shadow Rider straight away using the power of that Porsche to try, but Jam's got that inside line. Don't know why we're looking at Geordie. Cameraman decided to point it at the wrong car. And no, I think I'm going to try this and this. No, wrong. It's all wrong. There we go. So Jam, oh, he's got Shadow Rider hounding him. Oh, he's got the Grim Reaper on his bonnet. That's why I wanted to get into this angle. I wanted to see what was on Shadow Rider's bonnet. I like it. Very nice. So, Jam Snoop Dogged it up into third place. Proper lucky from the issues of Cymex and Shadow Rider coming together. Paid off for Jam and has put him up into third place, but he's being hounded by Shadow Rider and Cymex, all three of them. One a piece of that Ferrari. While Skyjacker still leads from Geordie. Behind them they have Dutch and Bunny, with Jim up into 8th place. Was he in 8th before? Who's he got? Jokers. Rivixter we saw having an off. Pat had a major one earlier, but his pace is good. He would have been up there. He was in 5th when he had his issues. There is Skyjacker pulling away from Geordie. Jam and his train of cars behind him. Shadow Rider in his Porsche. Cymex looking to back off a little bit. Looks like he's eased off a little, while Shadow Rider really battles it out. Cymex probably thinking, let Shadow Rider do the work and I'll just swoop through and them two go wide. Bunny catching these guys up in his McLaren. Would you? Adam and Evie's got ahead of Dutch. Dutch we saw, he was getting purples. He's doing great lap times, a 37.6, 37.9. Bunny with a 36.9. He's really starting to make that McLaren sing. Skyjacker leading the way, a 36.8. So Bunny's only a 10th off the fastest lap. And there goes Skyjacker coming around to complete lap 8 and start lap 9. Absolutely flying. He is 37.5. Geordie coming around in 2nd spot. Only 2 minutes left of racing, so 2 laps maybe left for some of these guys. Jam in 3rd, but he's got Shadow Rider hounding him. Shadow Rider wants this podium. This Porsche putting all their hopes and dreams on him. Cymex dropping back from that battle. Don't know if he's got tyre issues. Can't change their tyres in this race. So, ooh, Shadow Rider having a look around the outside. Jam playing it defensive, cutting his corner, making it harder for himself, with Shadow Rider staying behind. Jokers in the chat saying morning guys. Cymex then in 5th. Bunny starting to catch Cymex up. Cymex Better watch out for the Red Bull McLaren. Dutch there in 7th. He'll catch these two up if they start racing. Jim in 8th, keeping them in sight. 9th is Jokus, not that far behind. Rivixter, not far behind Jokus. And 11th is Pat. So here comes Skyjacker. We're into the last minute of the race. I'm not sure if he will get to the line. Yeah, he's got to get to the line. Geordie in 2nd place. Jam under fire from Shadow Rider. Oh, Bunny has got... Bunny, sorry, Bird. So Bunny somehow... it's 20 seconds ago. It's a bit late. So Bunny somehow getting past Cymex. There we see. Cymex looks like he's hurting from tyres, maybe. And, ooh, Bunny exchanging a bit of paint with the Dodge to get up into 5th place, and that puts the Dodge under threat from Dutch. Cymex seeing that he's got a Hyundai, and it is, I think, the tyres on that Dodge hurting a lot more than the other cars. 20 seconds left of racing in this sprint race, and Cymex now down 7th. But did Dutch make a mistake? Did he outbrake himself? And Cymex moving back up into 6th place. He's not that far behind Bunny. My words, 5 seconds left. They all crossed the line. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. So all of those crossed the line. Jokus then finishing in 9th. Rivixter a close 10th position. Pat just coming around to finish in 11th. Skyjacker then continuing on in the lead of this race. Race 1, round 1. The GTMC4. Lobby 2 or League 2. I'm not sure what the L stands for. I'm pretty sure it's lobby. There you go, Geordie in a great 2nd place, a debut for him in the VRC, and he has done a fantastic job. Jam, he looked into that podium position, and Shadow Rider has made him work for it. Shadow Rider's tyres hurting though now, and Bunny there, his fuel is just about holding on with a Cymex. We'll get used to it. Cymex in 6th ahead of Dutch. I've got to get ready with the pause button. Oh no, we've still got a few corners yet, Geordie, so we're alright. Jam, oh there you go. Shadow Rider's tyres have given up on the last lap, but he's far enough ahead of Bunny, so Bunny can't be a worry, but Bunny now probably short shifting. Here we see Skyjacker coming around, driving down victory lane in his Toyota. Congratulations, first blood to Skyjacker. Geordie, a debutant of debutants, there in 2nd. Jam finishing in 3rd. Amazon. Shadow Rider in 4th. It was close. Bunny in 5th. Oh my lord, I'm pausing it there because look at them all. Oh, hang on. Yeah, that's Jim. So I think they're all going to finish in those positions. If you don't mind, yes, I'm sticking with that. We'll have a quick jot down of those positions, and then we will get on with the feature race, where they will replace those Group 4 cars with Group 3 cars. I was just messing around with my iPad there, if you could hear it. There we see. So the winner of round 1 of the GTMC Season 4 Lobby 2 is Skyjacker. Great win, my friend. Great win. From like mid-pack as well in the grid. Geordie in 2nd. Is that the best shot we've got? Alright, and we'll have a look at his butt ski. So that is Geordie. A great debut. You know, I keep saying it. A great start for him in the VRC. I do have Geordie's car 17. 2nd place. Great podium position. In 3rd place we have Jam. You lucky jammy. Jammy. Getting a great podium for Ferrari. They will be pleased, and he'll be happy, as last year he was in the Mustang and had a miserable season in it. Although, in all fairness, Jam, Pat looked like he was doing okay with it up until its steering column broke. There in 4th. Oh my lord, what's going on? It's killing me with these shots. That's the best you're going to give me. You are. So Shadow Rider in his Porsche finishing in 4th. Could have been a podium. Shadow Rider in 5th place. We have Bunny. I don't expect much now from these camera angles. So great racing from Bunny in the McLaren. Didn't expect much from the McLaren. Quite a small car, not great horsepower, but came good. Simex there in 6th place. He was up there on the podium fighting for it. I think he burnt his tyres out a little bit more than the guys around him. Well, Shadow Rider as well. I think Shadow Rider and himself were having such a battle early doors that they've worn each other's tyres out. In 7th we have Dutch. He could have finished one above, but made that small mistake into the last corner we saw. Went wide. In 8th, Jim. A quiet race, but points on the board. So, great work. 9th for Jokers. Jokers running high earlier. We didn't see what put him back down there, but it's encouraging. Good lap times. Rivixter in 10th. Poor Rivixter. That Mercedes is heavy, innit? Looks heavy. Let's hope he gets on board with it. Rivixter finishing in 10th place. And in 11th, Pat. I think lost the steering column. 37.8 for Pat, though. So showing good pace. Finishing in 11th. Right then, who didn't cross the line? Simex. For all of you that like to see it happen, there you go, boom. They've all gone. Ooh, great racing there in Group 4. So, Racer Brown says congratulations Skyjacker, and Racer Brown also says great racing all. So, he's Racer Brown loving a bit of Lobby 2 action, and why would he not? Straight on to the feature race then, 40 minutes of racing. Any choice of a racing super soft, racing soft, or racing medium tyres. They have to use 2 compounds, and they have to use them for a minimum of 3 laps, which is probably the super softs, and they'll be torn to pieces, and then just spend the rest of the race on soft. So here we are for a rolling start. Now the grid is it's I don't know, it's the finishing results and then reverse. That's just fully reversed then. So that maybe the random number was 11. There's meant to be a random number picked, and then it's reversed from that point. But that just looks like a total reverse of grid. So I'm guessing number 11 was the number drawn. So Pat in his Mustang finishing last in the sprint race, now taking the Group 3 Ford Mustang out and leading the pack away. Rivixter there taking the Group 3 Mercedes. Jokers in the Jag. Jim in his Ferrari ahead of Dutch in the Hyundai. Simex in the Dodge. Bunny in the McLaren. Shadow Rider in his Porsche, Jam, I had a lock, Ferrari. Geordie in the Hyundai, and your race winner in his Toyota. So leading the way, Pat still through turn 1. Rivixter in second, but Jokers putting some pressure on the Mercedes, already looking to get up alongside. They're side by side going into turn 2, and no, Jokers pulls off the move. Does he stay in the lines of the corner? He's on the curb, but he's got it straight and he's on his way. So Rivixter there in 3rd place with Dutch in 4th ahead of Jim. Simex in 6th with Shadow Rider 7th, Bunny in 8th place. 9th place now for Jam ahead of Geordie, but Geordie trying to find a way past. Jam taking that inside line, making Geordie go the long way around, and now there's some action in front with Bunny and Simex. What has happened? Was it Simex and Bunny? Where is Bunny now? 10th. So let's go back. 10th. Oh yeah, Simex losing it on the curbs and giving Bunny a little tap into the barrier. Bunny trying to keep it under control, and there he goes, but he's lost a few places. Jam getting past, Geordie getting past. Looks like Simex pulling right over. He's down in the 11th place. Yeah, he's slowed right down. He's let Skyjacker through as well. So Simex on the curbs, losing that beefy American car, and now Bunny trying to recompose himself, and he's got Skyjacker all up in his business. Pat is leading the race. Sorry, Jokers. Rivixter, nothing's changed, up in the top 3. And what a great race. Bunny's lost the side of the McLaren, but he's regained it. Great catch. Fantastic stuff there, Bunny. Brilliant, 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 brilliant. But you're under threat from Cymex now. Cymex up the inside. And no, Cymex outbreaking himself, and Bunny then up the inside of Cymex. What a great race here at the back. Let me have a quick look around. There is Pat with Joker's under threat now from Rivixter. Rivixter in the big fat Mercedes trying to get up the inside of the Jaguar, but the Jaguar says, no, son. You stay there back in the third place. You can see a little bit of lag from Pat up ahead. Dutch up into fourth, Jam in fifth. There is Shadow Rider in sixth ahead of Geordie. No, that's Jim. Sorry, Jim and Jam. My word. In their Ferraris. How much difficult. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Rivixter again on Dutch. No, Dutch on Rivixter. Dutch moving up into a podium position. Would you have Adam and Eved it? There he goes. In the Hyundai. Moving forward. And now in the background you can see Shadow Rider out wide on the dust, and he's lost the Porsche. The Porsche can be skittish on the curbs, and there he goes paying the price. There is Skyjacker swooping round to move up into 8th place. Shadow Rider, oh, he's trying to come on track, but Cymex hit him. Bunny hit Cymex. And Shadow Rider down into 9th with a little bit of damage. I mean 11th and down with a bit of damage. Cymex now ahead of Bunny in 9th place. Bunny hunting him down. Pat still leading the way, but Joker's trying to close that gap at 130.4. Last time around from Joker's. Pat managing a 130.5, only a tenth slower than Joker's. There's nothing in it between the top two. Dutch doing a 130.3. Truly the fastest man out of the top three. There is Rivixter. He's under threat from Jim in his Ferrari. He's got up the inside of Rivixter, and it looks like Geordie also getting a little piece of that action. Geordie coming out on top with Jim in 5th, and Rivixter dropping 2 places in one corner. That Mercedes does not want to stop in the corners, does it? And there Geordie again. Jim having a look up the inside of that Hyundai. Them Hyundai's running really well at the moment in 3rd and 4th place. Rivixter down into 6th. There we see Skyjacker in 7th. He's on the Racing Soft tyres. I've not been taking notes. Here we see, oh, Jam having a go at Cymex. They're side by side going to this corner. Jam backing out of it seems, and there Cymex in 8th, Jam in 9th, Bunny in 10th, Shadow Rider down into 11th. So Jam must have had a small off. He was higher up than that, I'm sure. So Jam on the Racing Softs. Looks like he's recuperating, recovering from something. Oh, random from 15th, Racer Brown has said. That must have been Lobby 1. And there we see Jam. Oh, Bunny having an off in the background. Bunny losing the McLaren. And Shadow Rider moving up 1 position and hunting down the Ferrari and the Dodge in front of him. Pat, meanwhile, lap 4. Is still leading and pulling away from Jokus. I thought he had the fastest lap, but he didn't. Whoa, 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 whoa. Sorry, Pat. I shouldn't have said anything. Pat. He's still... Oh, Pat, I'm sorry, dude. Still lap 4 and Pat's still leading, though. Jokus hasn't got past him yet. Dutch is putting Jokus under a lot of pressure. Dutch having a look at Jokus. Jokus might have his hands up too full to worry about Pat, but Pat, I think, a bit of dust on his wheels. He's losing grip in the corners. He's on them super soft tyres. Joker's also on the super soft tyres, and Dutch is on those Racing Soft tyres. But now lap 4 they have warmed up. We are nearly 6 minutes into this race. Skyjack said both lobbies will random 15th draw. And now you can see Dutch trying to get up the inside of Joker's to get that 2nd spot, but Joker's there maintaining the position. Great racing here from these two. Joker's in 2nd spot, Pat there in 1st, just maintaining that car. Seems to be, oh, Dutch out wide. His teammate Geordie all up in his business. Pat's under threat from Joker's. Joker's trying to get up the inside line, and Joker's is going to come round and lead. They're both off. They are both off the road, but Joker's back on. Dutch up into 2nd spot. Geordie in 3rd. The 2 Hyundais attacking the Jaguar. Pat back on the track in fourth with Jim just behind him in fifth place in his Ferrari, looking for a way past Jim. Pat's going to make him go the long way around. Them two Hyundais side by side. Wow, brilliant driving from the two Hyundais there. Geordie moving up into second, Dutch slipping down into third. They look great together. Joker's leading the way now in his Jaguar. Jim in fourth place. He's managed to get Pat. Pat's coming back at him up the inside though, but no, Jim holds that line in the Group 3 Ferrari. Pat now down into fifth place with Rivixter in sixth, not too far behind. He did a 31.1 last time around. Pat, we saw, having a bit of a bad lap, 32.9. But he's regaining his composure now. Oh, that Mercedes out wide again. Skyjacker doesn't need much more motivation than that. Seeing the Mercedes flying off the road. He's up into seventh. He's going to try and get sixth. In his Supra, he's on the racing soft tyres, and there he goes. Rivixter on the racing soft tyres also. And there, Skyjacker moving up into sixth place. Rivixter down to seventh. Cymex in eighth. That Dodge Viper, not as handy. He did 29.6 last time around though. He's been in the battles. Shadow Rider up into ninth ahead of Jam. Jam having a miserable race in that Ferrari. Down in 10th place, we saw Bunny having a big spin in the last corner. So Geordie now leading. Geordie's leading. Joker's lost the lead. I apologise. God, he lost it a while ago. So there we see the two Hyundais together coming across Jokers on lap 5. 7.5 minutes of nearly into this race, and Geordie slipping it up the inside of the Jaguar out wide, and there goes Dutch through also. So Geordie, he did make contact with Jokers. I'm not sure. Dutch now, oh, maybe Geordie's redressing. I'm not sure. He seems to be slowing down, letting Dutch have a look. But no, he's back in again. Joker's out wide. He's coming back at Dutch. He's right in the sweet spot of that Hyundai, getting that Jaguar up alongside, but Dutch going defensive on the inside of turn 2, making Jokers do all the work around the outside. Can he do it? Oh, he's on the curbs. It's side by side coming out the corner. Dutch just ahead. Jokers there, and now Dutch still got the inside line, and this all plays into Jim's hands there in the Ferrari. Now Jim's got a lovely inside line for this corner. He outbrakes Jokers, not quite though, and there he goes. He's alongside Jokers. Oh, he slipped in behind Jokers. He's had to back out of it. Pat in 5th place in that Mustang, and Skyjacker fastly approaching in the Supra. He's got the fastest lap with a 29.3. Rivixter in 7th spot ahead of Cymex. Cymex a 1:30.0 last time around. Rivixter a 34.4. I think that's when we saw him having a bit of an off. Shadow Rider in 9th, 30.7 his last time around. He's on them racing soft tyres ahead of Jam, who managed a 31.5. Bunny in last, but we saw him having a small spin. He's put medium tyres on. Was he on mediums at the beginning, or has he pitted? He's on an outlap, so he's put mediums on, but only half a tank of fuel, so interesting. Maybe he's just going to do 3 laps on the mediums and stay off the super softs altogether. So Geordie leading the way, unimpeded now. He's dropped his teammate Dutch somewhat. Dutch playing a tail gunner for Geordie, keeping the Jaguar behind him, but the Jaguar has got a Ferrari coming fast approaching him, and here comes the Mustang under pressure from the Toyota. This is, oh, Skyjacker really off of the accelerator there, getting out of the way. So sat on board with Skyjacker. He's ahead of the Mercedes of Rivixter. We're just coming up to 10 minutes into this race. We're into the first quarter. No pit stops yet. Wow. Pat. And there you go. Whoa. The Supra. There she blows. Skyjacker. Nice spin. Geordie then in first place, getting purples. Dutch in his wake in second. Great place for the two Hyundais there. Jokers in third in his Jaguar. He's keeping up with them. A 32.3 from Jokers last time around. He's on the racing super softs though, where Dutch is on the softs, and so is Geordie. Their tyres still looking good, whereas I think Jokers now has seen the best of those super softs. Pat also on those super softs. His look a little bit better than the Jaguars of Jokus. So Pat in 4th place ahead of Rivixter. Rivixter moving up into 5th. Cymex moving up into 6th. Shadow Rider up into 7th. Jam in 8th with Skyjacker spin. Oh, and Jim, we've lost Jim as well. He's not done a lap. We'll see the extent of his damage. It's something on this lap happened. A 52.0. Oh, poor Jim. So, who was he racing? He was up there in like 5th place, wasn't he, with Pat? Oh, so... I can't go back. It could have happened ages ago. Geordie is leading the way at 29.8 last time round for Geordie in his Hyundai. Dutch there in 2nd spot. A 130.5, some 7/10 slower than his teammate. Jokus a 30.3, so Jokus on a push. Jokus in the zone, I said his best, he'd done his best on those super softs. He proved me wrong by going faster. 4th place there for Pat, but we saw Pat bouncing around in front of Skyjacker before Skyjacker spun. We don't know if he tried to avoid, maybe. We don't know what Skyjacker could see. This would be... And there goes Pat for his first pit stop to get rid of those super softs. And also Jim around Pat's time. So Geordie leading. Pat's gone in to get rid of his super softs. Jokus stayed out on his 31.4 last time around from him. Dutch did a 30.2. Geordie a 30.2. Brilliant stuff from the two Hyundais. Jokus 31.4. Cymex under absolutely amazing pressure from Rivixter. Rivixter looking for the inside line into turn 2. They're side by side. Rivixter late on those brakes. That Mercedes, he's getting the handle of it. He's up into 4th place ahead of Rivixter, whose Dodge looks like it's a handful. I'm sure he'll find a way to push that car, but Shadow Rider now in his Porsche, moving ever closer to Cymex. He did a 30.2 last time round, did Shadow Rider. Cymex did a 31.0. So Shadow Rider pushing on. 31.0 from Jam in 7th place ahead of Skyjacker, your sprint race winner. We're not even halfway through this race yet, so he's got plenty of time to try and come back at the leaders. Pat there in 9th after his pit stop. He's put some super softs on again, so he liked those super softs, obviously. Nice and grippy, keep him going. Jim in 10th place. He's gone on those racing softs, so he's not far behind Pat. He's got 1/4 of a tank of fuel in that Ferrari. Incidentally, I think in GTN Season 2, the Ferrari won the championship. Now Jim is ahead of... Yeah, he was already ahead of Bunny. I saw his name flipping. So there is a Bunny. He went in, he's put those medium tyres on. Looks like he's going for a long run, but there's not much grip on those mediums. He's struggling to find it. My word. You're going to have to look hard for any kind of grip on those medium tyres. Geordie then leading the way at 31.0 on lap 9. He's on lap 10. We're nearly 15 minutes into this 40-minute race. Dutch has dropped a little bit behind now, a 32.2 last time round for Dutch. Jokus at 31.6, so Jokus really pushing to catch up the back end of that Hyundai. Rivixter, we saw him getting ahead of Cymex, but Cymex coming back at him. 31.6 from Rivixter last time around. Cymex managing at 31.9, but at the moment it looks like Cymex really putting the pressure on. Cymex needing a pit stop. He is on 0 fuel virtually. He's going to duck into the pits, so we'll follow Geordie. He's got somewhere between half and 1/4. Dutch, similar to Geordie's fuel. Jokus, his fuel has started flashing. There is Shadow Rider. Shadow Rider on the threat from Rivixter, is he? Or is he? Maybe he's overtaking. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, he is. He's overtaking Rivixter. So Rivixter, 32.0 his last time around. Shadow Rider 31.3, 29.8 before that. But now looks like Rivixter coming back at the Porsche around the outside. Can he do it? He has. There's a yellow car. There's a yellow flag. I don't know who's off. Oh no, it's Dutch. Dutch having some sort of issue in that car. It looks like a spin. So Dutch coming up to turn 2 in a great second place. Just got himself a purple sector. He knows he's under pressure. Oh, just a little bit wide in the back end. The back end was cruel to him. Most other times you can get that back onto the track, no problem. But his Hyundai decided to step out, and there he goes. Another position, another 2 positions. The pain carries on. He's got Jam catching him up in 6th place with some fuel, whereas Dutch needs to see the pits. Hyundai looking at seeing their 1-2 disappearing in front of their very eyes. Geordie in the Draper Tools Quick Fit Hyundai on a blast. Jokus moving up into 2nd spot. He's made those super softs go all the way through to lap 11. You've got to take your hats off to that. On the soft, Rivixter on a podium position ahead of Shadow Rider. Didn't we just see this? I must have I don't know if we just saw Shadow Rider. Yeah, because they're ahead of Dutch. And there we see Rivixter popping into the pits with Dutch. Jam, he's continuing on. He's continuing on his Jam. There's a big chunk of cars from 2nd to 5th, sorry. Pit in there, with Jokus joining them. Skyjacker also in. Geordie in. So Shadow Rider is your new leader in 17 minutes in this race. He has not pitted, but he's conserved fuel lovely in that Porsche. He hasn't hardly used his tyres. He is obviously now, Geordie is back on track on the super softs. He's pitted 3/4 of a tank of fuel. I don't know if that's enough fuel for him to get to the end. Jam, we saw him continuing on. He's in the podium position at the moment, doing some great lap times. Some sweet lap times in that Ferrari. Like I said, that Ferrari, I think GTMC4. Joker's livery is stunning, says Skyjacker. I said it looked like it had the I said earlier it's like the VRC colours. Joker's coming out of the pits in 5th. Pat, we saw making an earlier pit stop. So he has managed to jump a few places there from pitting early. Jam staying out. Geordie pitted. Shadow Rider stayed out. Looks like Shadow Rider might even stay out. No, he's coming now. I thought he might try and make that Porsche go till halfway. So Geordie continues on his super soft to retake the lead. Jam also dropping into the pits. That will put Pat up into a 2nd spot. 2nd place for Jam. Pat. Sorry, Jam. Sorry, Pat. Go on, Pat. So Jokus then coming around. He's back up into a podium position. This is fantastic race here. I don't know what the blue flag is. I think that's GT Sport getting itself confused. There is Glenn, but don't forget that pit spits out after the first corner. There's Geordie. Pat in 2nd. Jokus is in 3rd. There's Shadow Rider back out of the pits in 4th ahead of Cymex. We saw them 2 racing each other. Cymex pitting earlier, so yes, they're back on track together, chasing. Dutch out of the pits in 6th place after his spin before his pit stop. Jam in 7th. He's come back out ahead of Skyjacker and Rivixter in 9th. Jim in 10th position, with Bunny just coming in to get rid of those medium tyres. Geordie leading some way from Pat. Pat, the last time around, a 29.6. Geordie's on his outlap. No, he's not. But he's only done. So Pat getting purples. It's really pushing, but he said -3. Ah, very similar, Skyjacker says. Yeah, I thought it looked a little bit like your guy. Not a little bit, but it made me think of your guy's Hyundai. You and Alpha's Hyundai. So Joker's in a third spot. This is a great league. These guys we don't usually see figure too much, and there we see when they get the opportunity to shine, these guys race just as good as the aliens. So Geordie leading the way in his Hyundai, Pat in second, making that Mustang do things it would not do last season. I don't know if it's down to updates. Whoa, look at it lurch under brakes, and there's the lag. Wow, way. Wow, Pat. I don't know if he's going to make the end of this race. Geordie leading with Pat in second. Joker's is third, but he's under threat from Shadow Rider. Shadow Rider moving up the inside of Joker's. Joker's there on the racing soft tyres. Shadow Rider on the super softs. He can late brake into turn 3, and he clings onto the apex, and there he goes up into a podium position. But Joker's now fighting back, but Joker's on the outside. Not a great place to be. Don't want Joker's to go off the side of the road there. No, he's good. Joker's slipping into 4th place, whilst Shadow Rider moving that Porsche into 3rd with those super soft tyres. Cymex is in 5th place. That Dodge, he's been lurking about. Dutch having a mare earlier and on a recovery now. Jam, I think, has had a couple of mares, and he's under threat from Skyjacker on board. With Skyjacker, is he just... Whoa, I thought he late braked it into that corner and got himself ahead of Jam, but no, I think he had to get out of it, and Jam stayed in 7th spot. Jam on the curve. Skyjacker looking for a way to get past. They're going to be... Oh no, there's Skyjacker's going for the widest angle into the corner. There's Jam trying to be defensive. Over the apex they go. Skyjacker chasing down the Ferrari in his Toyota, looking for a way past on the back there. Oh no, look, we're up side of the Ferrari now, side by side, but Jam heavily defensive on that inside. Jam sitting on the apex, but Skyjacker trying to push it around the outside. Skyjacker on the super soft tyres. Jam is also on the super soft tyres, so Skyjacker absolutely beasted it. Fantastic stuff around the outside of the Ferrari there. And all Jam could do was sit and hope on that apex. Geordie then leading the way. There is the Flying Mustang, literally. Shadow Rider. We've only got 17 minutes left of racing. So Geordie leading on lap 16 on his super soft tyres. Pat in second. Shadow Rider rounds out your podium. He's not that far ahead of... Oh no, Joker's dropping a position to Cymex. Cymex moving up into 4th place, hunting Shadow Rider now. Cymex getting on top of that Dodge Viper. A 30.3 last time around, a 29.9 the time before. Shadow Rider managing 29.7, 29.6. So Shadow Rider really getting the sweet spot of that Porsche and moving it along hastily. Climax on the racing soft tyres though, getting a purple sector in the first sector. Joker's, whatever, he did a 32.0 last time around. He must have had a slight off or a bit wide. There is Skyjacker. We saw him masterfully getting past Jam, and now he's leaving Jam in his wake. Jam a 31.3 last time around. Skyjacker managing a 30.1 in 6th place, ahead of Jam in 7th. The other Ferrari, Jim in 5th, unseen by us. He was having a great race up there in 5th and 4th, and we don't know what happened. We think Pat Lag may have taken him down, but we are not sure. He was around Pat around the time Pat was twitching, and then he was at the back. But Jim coming through up into 8th place on those super soft tyres, quarter of a tank of fuel. Rivixter opting for the medium tyres in that Mercedes, going for a long stint, we believe. He's only managing a 33, and Dutch down again. Dutch was further up than that. We've missed Dutch going off a 41.1 last time around for Dutch. Now he's coming at Rivixter on his medium tyres up the inside. Meanwhile, we saw someone pit stop. Pat is in the pits again. He was one of the first to pit last time around. That fuel does not last long in the Mustang. So there we see Geordie leading the way. He's got just over a quarter of a tank of fuel. His super softs are looking fresh, man. Shadow Rider in second spot. His racing super softs absolutely untouched, unscathed. He's got half a tank of fuel. He's quite a way behind Geordie, but Geordie has got a lot less fuel, so we'll see what Shadow Rider can do from this position. Cymex there in third. His racing softs okay, just under half a tank of fuel. He's getting a good race pace going on in those early 130s, with Shadow Rider pulling the 29 late 29s. Jokers was in third position earlier. He had one bad lap, it seems. It's put him behind Cymex. That's all it takes. Consistency is key, always. Skyjacker up into fifth. What a man. What a man. Smoke me a kipper. I'll be back for breakfast. There's Ace Rimmer then. In fifth place at 29.7. His last time around. Absolutely a flying. But Jam at 30.0 is last time around. He's making those super softs come to life. Can he eke himself back up to the back of that Toyota? Jim, his teammate, 30.9 last time around. His fuel's getting low though. The Ferrari may have to revisit the pits pretty soon. We have got less than 14 minutes left of racing here at the Red Bull Ring for Lobby 2, League 2, Lurch 2. And Pat crossing the line in 8th place after his pit stop. Whilst Dutch is coming in. He's got half a tank of fuel on. He's on racing softs. I'm not sure what he's making a pit stop for. Geordie there, leading the way for the Hyundai team. He's gonna be high up on the points, I believe, in the table. Must be with this presentation for Hyundai. And Draper Tools with Quick Fit. And any other name you can see on there, I don't know. Shadow Rider in second place for the Rothmans Williams Porsche. Having a very understated race, but coming to the top in the end. In second place, Shadow Rider just missing out on the podium in the sprint race, so this will more than make up for it. And there is his racing buddy Cymex. He ran with in the Group 4 sprint race. Them two battled hard. Jokers slipping even further back. He's doing a 30, a 32. There goes the 30 again. Cymex now though consistently in the 30s, but that was a late 30. Someone else in the pits, Jim. We did say Jim would have to visit the pits soon. How's Rivixter doing? He's on those medium tyres. He's ahead of Pat after Pat come out of the pits. On the racing soft now for Pat. So he hasn't got as much grip. He's hanging it right out there. And Jim dropping down into 9th whilst he fuels that car. Dutch getting ahead in 9th. Didn't we start with 11? Who did we lose? Oh, Bunny. Dude, I think he got disconnected. He said it wasn't his fault, I think, in Discord. There, Geordie getting purples, but his fuel is absolutely on the gauge. The needle is pointing down. Shadow Rider in second place. There is Cymex in third. Joker sitting in a great 4th place. Skyjacker in 5th, your sprint race winner. Geordie into the pits. So Shadow Rider, he's quite a way back. Shadow Rider still got a quarter of a tank of fuel, but he's gone in also. It's going to be a 10-minute sprint to the end. What is Cymex? Cymex also coming in. They're all going to outdo it. There's Joker's also coming in. They're all coming into the pits. What will Skyjacker do? Skyjacker's low on fuel, but he is hanging it out for one more lap on those super softs. Can he get round to that first corner? Jam's also gone in. Before Geordie comes out, Geordie sitting there, he's just on his way out. Geordie still takes the lead of the race. Skyjacker then in second, but he will have to pit. Jam still stationary. Shadow Rider back out of the pits on the super softs. just under 3/4 of a tank of fuel. Geordie just over 3/4 of a tank of fuel. Skyjacker putting so much pressure on him right now. Geordie would probably just like to get into the swing of the lap with the new fuel loads, but Skyjacker hounding him on his in-lap. Shadow Rider there in third, Cymex fourth, Jokers, that's the man Skyjacker wants to get out ahead. Jokers, but Jokers looks a lot closer to Cymex now. Cymex on the super softs, he's got half a tank of fuel. Jokers on the super soft, just over half a tank of fuel. 49 for Cymex's pit stop, 47. So I don't know what happened to Cymex's pit stop. He's 2 seconds longer. Jams was a 51. Maybe it's where you're positioned. Dutch now up into 7th after all these pit stops. Jim down into 8th. Pat down into 9th. And Rivixter in 10th position in that Mercedes. So Geordie still under threat from Skyjacker, but we expect Skyjacker to disappear into the pits. We're into the last 9 minutes of this race, and Geordie in the lead. Shadow Rider should move up into 2nd spot, or can he? Did Skyjacker do enough? I don't think so, not with the filling of the fuel. So Shadow Rider still some way off of Geordie, a little bit closer than he was before the pit stops. And there's Cymex, but Jokers has closed down on Cymex, something absolutely crazy. Jam back in 5th, Jokers there 4th, looking like he's going to take back his podium position. He's on the move. What great racing we are seeing here for round 1. Whoa, Joker's just on the brakes over the apex. Got a wiggly jag. He's got a shaky jag on him. And he's got around about 8 minutes to catch up that Viper and make the decisive move into the podium. Geordie then leading from Shadow Rider. He's just completed his outlap. He's getting purples on those super soft tyres, doing everything he needs to do. We're also seeing purples for Shadow Rider. It's the battle of the outlaps. The distance looks pretty similar on the map. He's, if anything, Cymex is closer to Shadow Rider than Shadow Rider is to Geordie, but Jokers is so much closer to Cymex than Cymex is to Shadow Rider. Skyjacker there in 5th place. He's thereabouts. If they start racing each other in front of him, he is going to be all over them. Jam there in 6th place, ahead of Dutch in the Hyundai, ahead of Jim in the Ferrari. In 9th is Pat in that Mustang, looking good though. He's got to take from this round that Mustang was competitive. Rivixter there needs to have a word with the Mercedes mechanics, see if they can drop some weight from that car. He's back on the soft tyres, a 30.2. Oh, that was his outlap, sorry. 32.3. I can't see what his best today's been. On there it looks like 31.6. Geordie leading. What can you say about this Hyundai? He got 2nd spot in the sprint race. So he's taking away very good points from this, more than Skyjacker. And Skyjacker's currently running down in 5th place. I haven't seen who's got the fastest lap. He's trying though. Purple's 29.5 the last time round from Geordie. Shadow Rider at 29.3. So Shadow Rider trying all he can in the last 6 minutes of this race. Jokers is up to 3rd. Jokers is up into 3rd spot. I do apologise. We've seen that battle unfolding for a while now. Oh my god, and it happened so long ago. I apologise. And then I skipped one for no reason. So in 4th, Jokers, looks like Cymex had a struggle getting out of turn 1. Wasn't clean enough. Lost some pace up the small straight, and here comes Jokers to snatch it away up the inside, and he does so. And it's Jokers now up into 3rd place. Cymex down into 4th. Skyjacker still in 5th. I said if these guys race each other too much, you can see Skyjacker there just in the distance. He'll be hoping them guys race each other a little bit more. Jam 6th, he's on the same straight, but he's some way back now. He has got to more worry about Dutch doing a 29.5 last time around, and Jam doing a 32.1. That Ferrari a handful. Jim doing a 29.6, so Jim on a very fast pace at the moment. Pat in 9th place ahead of Rivixter. So Geordie coming around as we're hitting the 34-minute mark, with only 6 minutes left of racing. What an exciting race we have had. Shadow Rider pushing a 29.6 from Shadow Rider. Geordie doing a 29.3. So in the end, Shadow Rider just can't quite get fast enough to get up with Geordie. Jokers then pushing 29.3 from Jokers. Jokers faster than Shadow Rider. Dutch back into the pits. Dutch back into the pits. Yes, he's running out of fuel in the last few minutes. There's Jim. Will Pat move back ahead? He's in the last corner, but he's struggling with those racing softs. Whoo-wee. So Geordie leading from Shadow Rider. Shadow Rider ahead of Jokers. Jokers pushing, and now, oh, we missed. Skyjacker has got past Cymex. Cymex was looking like he's struggling with pace out there. Don't know if he's fuel saving till the end of the race. He's got the super softs on. They don't look worn or anything, but Skyjacker, oh, Skyjacker got the fastest lap with a 29.1. He is absolutely beasting it out there, up into 4th place ahead of Cymex, who managed a 32.3 his last time around, and now Skyjacker is up into 4th spot. Great racing there from Skyjacker. Geordie, the 29.3 from Geordie the last time around. He's getting purples again. Shadow Rider there in his Porsche. I don't think he's ever won the GTMC, but they've always looked good. It's a good all-rounder car in the GT4 and GT3 category. Never quite up there to win, but always thereabouts. Shadow Rider doing a great job with it today. Up in 2nd place, the Hyundais. They've had some development changes, because when Skyjacker and Alpha Nut drove them, they were a bit doggish. Didn't want to go around corners, I think. And Jokers in the Jaguar, doing a mental job for a podium position. This is great stuff. 30.0 last time round for Jokers. Skyjacker 29.8, 2/10 faster. We are into the last 5 minutes. We're just about to hit 4 minutes till checkered flag. Geordie leading the way ahead of Shadow Rider. Shadow Rider at 29.8 the last time around. Geordie at 29.3. So Geordie faster than Shadow Rider at this point in the race. Could he say it's in the bag? Joker's there on a podium position. Skyjacker can't shake Cymex. Sorry, he has shaken him a little bit though. The arrows looked closer together. There we see a Jam in 6th ahead of his teammate Jim. The Ferraris bringing it home for a photo finish together in 6th and 7th. They look good. They've got good pace. I think they're a little bit skittish. As soon as they settle down, the handling of that Ferrari, I think we will see a race wins in the future for the Scuderia team. Pat in 8th again. Some good pace early doors on those super soft tyres, so he's just got to, I think he's going to sort that lag out. I think the lag is under, he's got something coming, sort that out. Dutch can see what that car can do. He was up there in 2nd place for a long stint in this race. He's doing some great lap times, so he's probably not happy with his position from this race, but I think he can take a lot away from this first round. Rivixter, oh, I think he's gonna just find a way of hating that Mercedes in all sorts of different ways throughout the season. So Geordie, looks like the Mercedes is the new Mustang this season. Geordie then a 1:29.1. That's very close to Skyjacker's fastest lap, 29.147. Geordie did a 29.170, but now Skyjacker, he really is under threat from Cymex. Cymex now, I don't know what's wrong with Skyjacker's car, fourth, but he's under threat from the Polish driver, Cymex. Skyjacker on fourth. He's low on fuel, maybe he's thinking of his fuel tank, Cymex. He's got a little bit more fuel than Skyjacker, but Skyjacker maybe doing a little bit of short shifting, a little bit of lifting in corners. Geordie coming around. We've still got a minute and a half though, so if that is what Skyjacker's trying to do, he's got a long way to save fuel. 32.6 from Skyjacker last time round. Cymex a 30.9. So Skyjacker's fourth place, not in the bag just yet. Cymex might have something to say about it. Jam just coming down the start straight into turn one, a 30.4 from Jam last time around. Looks like Jim is getting a little bit closer. I think Jim's a little faster at this point in the race. In round one, I imagine it's race on. No team orders, although we do know the Scuderia do like a good solid contract, should we say. Dutch and Pat under 5 from each of Dutch going out in a blaze of glory there, maybe in 8th position, but he has got the fastest lap with a 29.078. Great stuff there from Dutch, but he's under threat from Pat, under braking up the inside of turn 2, and now Pat moving up into 8th place. Them two battling it on all the way. 10 seconds left of racing. Looks like Geordie's going to do another lap. Only 3 seconds. I think Shadow Rider will be the first to finish as he crosses the line. In 2nd spot, there he goes. In 3rd spot, we have Jokers. Come on, Jokers, for a podium. He's bringing it home. There's barely any fuel left. There he goes. Jokers in 3rd place. Take a boo, my son. Skyjacker in 4th. Cymex in 5th place there. There we see Jam bringing it home in 6th for Ferrari. Slowing down so Jim can catch up. Maybe no. Jam, Jim, both crossing the line for Ferrari. Dutch in 8th place. He's still got that fastest lap. It's going to be his. He's going to get the points for it as he brings her home around the last corner in 8th place. I suppose he would have wanted more from this race. No, I'm going to pause that. Where is Geordie? Oh, he's away, isn't he? So we'll watch. Pat also can take some good things away from this race, finishing in 9th. And there we see Geordie bringing her home in the winner's circle, doing an absolutely fantastic job for his debut here at the Virtual Racers Club. We always like to see someone come in and hit the ground running. We know it's sometimes a steep learning curve when you start running with a new group. So it's great to see he's not fazed by that at all. It's just coming around the last corner, and I want to pause it there. Do a quick rundown of your final positions. So Geordie in the Hyundai taking the win for the feature race. Well done, Geordie. In 2nd place, Blurry or Miles Away. Blurry or Miles Away. That's not as blurry. It is Shadow Rider. Shadow Rider, a great round from him. A 4th and a 2nd place on the podium in the final podium position. I present to you... Oh God, that's crap angle. Jokers! Take a boo, my son! Great to see Jokers on the podium there. Fantastic stuff. He's been racing with us for quite a while there, and this is got to be one of his top races. There is Skyjacker. Could have had so much more out of this race, but the Supra let him down. The back end of that Supra let him down on more than one occasion, but he brought it home to finish in a great 4th place. In 5th, Cymex having a great debut here at the Virtual Racers Club. could hold his head up high, had some great racing, a 6th and a 5th, but you can tell he is going to get podiums, and there is definitely a win in his future in this championship. In 6th for Ferrari is Jam. Looks like he drove the wheels off that Ferrari today, but it is a skittish car. So from the podium, 3rd place in the sprint, he has got 6th in the feature. There's his teammate Jim and Jam in their Ferraris, and Jim is finishing in 7th. Jim had a great run though, we saw him up there. I think him and Pat may have had a coming together, not sure. They're in 8th, Dutch with the fastest lap also. Oh God, there you go, you can see his back end. So Dutch with the fastest lap, he was running in 2nd for so long. He leaves here, not great positions, but he must feel buoyant by the pace of that Hyundai. A 7th and an 8th for Dutch. 9th place for Pat, but he was up there again, another one. That Mustang isn't as much of a dog as it was last season, so he must be feeling good about that. And in 10th, Rivixter, and I don't know how he feels about that Mercedes right now. I remember when I drove it, I didn't like it. So a Rivixter there, 2 10th places, and Bunny at DNF. I think he had internet issues, so back to that. Congratulations, Geordie, your first win in the VRC. Taste that, Champers, my friends. Welcome to the club. I'm not in that club. That's a special club. The winner's circle, victory lane, all of that. Anyway, got to wrap this up. My wife's just about to go to work, so I want to say goodbye to her. And my kids are eating their breakfast, staring at me like I'm a madman. So thank you again for tuning in. You are all legends. Thank you to our top, well, Geordie on a great win, but thank you for all the drivers for making it so entertaining. Our sim racers, sorry, for making it so entertaining. And I will sign off. I was your commentator, and I told you earlier my name was Dan. So we've got a bit of a hint what my name is. So thank you. I was your commentator and broadcaster, Dan Gling Wang. Thank you very much. I will catch you again soon. Love you. Bye. Be good to each other. Yeah, Dan Glyn Wang. Bye.